Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm of course Moto Jack, and this is my buddy Vic.
RL2, what's up?
So today we're going to be doing a short, quick video. We're replacing the exhaust on my Indian Scout bobber, taking the stock dual barrel exhaust, and we're replacing it with a Vance Hines short pipe exhaust.
Beauty, she's
this
a
thing
beauty.
sounds awesome, and
it's gonna be loud.
it definitely is going to upgrade the sound a bit. The stock pipes are great. They have a nice little rumble, and we're going to let you hear that in just a minute. We're going to do an audio test and a decibel test. But these short pipes are going to make a world of difference, and it's definitely going to make the bike sound a little bit
Be
neater.
heard, stay alive. That's what they
right.
say, you know what I mean?
Before we get into it, of course, this video is sponsored by Jury of Wolves.
Yes,
And rolling on two.
Let's get it, man. We got the collab. This is what the merch is looking like. Stay tuned for that. It's gonna be real nice.
That's awesome. And we got our helper here. Zyra's going to help us change these pipes on this motorcycle, so let's get into it.
Let's do it.
All right, cool. So first things first, obviously we have to have it before. This is the stock exhaust, and if you're here, you probably have already heard what the stock exhaust sounds like, but we want to give you a decibel reading before and then after. Now, obviously we're in the shop, we're in the garage, and it's going to be extra loud, but we should still see a significant difference in decibels between the original stock exhaust and then the Vance Hines ones, okay? So let's turn it on. Decibels of the stock exhaust. So now let's get into how we're going to change it. All right, let's do this. So taking the stock exhaust off is super simple. Okay, there are 3 bolts on the back and 2 for the clamps up front. The ones in the back are 13 mil. All right, but 13 mil in the back, 15 on the front. Couple turns, some elbow grease. We're going to pull off the stock pipes, and then we'll take a look at the Vance and Hines pipes that we're putting on. So let's dive in. All right, awesome. So stock exhaust is off. We saw how hard or tricky or not so hard that was. Required a little bit of grease. We got them off. We got it done. Now, moving on to the aftermarket, right? So we have the Vance and Hines short pipes. You can pretty much see straight through. There's barely any baffle in there. So super excited about putting these on. One thing to remember though, is that when you're taking off the stock pieces, depending on where you got your aftermarket parts, you may or may not have all of the hardware. On the stock pipes, the nuts for the back of the bolts that pass through are built in. They're actually welded to the brackets on the pipe. And so if you don't have all your hardware, you're going to have to search through your cabinets and be very, very lucky to find exact nuts that go with the bolts that came with the aftermarket pieces. Okay, so now that that's all done, we're gonna put on the slip-ons and then we're gonna see how it sounds. We got them on, a little bit more muscle power and elbow grease got them on. We actually had to loosen the slip covers on top because you don't want them running over your stock front header cover. So we loosened those, put those back, pulled this all the way in. We have everything lined up underneath. So moment of truth, we're gonna send the bolts through, make sure all of the washers are in there, Get that washer on the back here on this side. And
Send them bad boys in.
right,
Huh?
yeah, you got one there, and I got one here.
Cool.
Boom. This bolt. You know, you wouldn't think it was January in Florida with the heat that's coming into this
Heat wave.
shop right now. I may have to invest in an air conditioner if we're going to work in here in the summer. I'll tell you that. So we actually elected to take the bolts that were in there that were facing backside out and flip them around and face them in because they're actually black on the front and the nuts that I found were silver. So we don't want the chrome nuts facing out. We want them in the back hidden. So we're able to do that and it's going to look really clean in the front.
Styling and profiling, baby.
That's right.
All right, man.
So on the aftermarket pipes, it's only the 2 bolts. You don't have that third because these are going to be shorter. So you don't have that third back bracket tying them both together. So we got those on. We're going to slip these top covers down just a tad to cover up this little gap that we have here. Make sure that they're not touching. And then we're going to tighten the clamps on the front. And then we're all done. So let's do that. And then we're going to listen and see what the difference sounds like. Aftermarket exhaust is on. Everything's good. We took a few seconds. We made sure everything was tight. Always make sure your hardware is always tight. Turn it one last time as hard as you can, especially on stuff like this that's going to be vibrating whenever you're on the road. Now comes the fun part. We're going to turn it on. We're going to give you the decibel test, and we're going to take a look at the difference. I'm super excited. Let's do it. All right, so we're ready to go. Let's do it. You ready? All right, so wrapped it up. That is phenomenal. Super happy with how it sounds, how it came out. Obviously, you saw a decibel reader, 20 decibels louder. Of course, it's in a garage. Of course, it's going to sound extra loud, but what you want is you don't want your bike to be quiet. You got to ride like you're invisible, but you want to be heard as much as you can. So giving that extra little meat to the exhaust is going to definitely help me out whenever I'm out on the road. And also, it just looks fantastic. It opens up the entire end of the bike. You can see the wheel a little bit. The Scout Bobber has the same rim on the front and the rear tire, so you can see that whole system and the whole setup a lot better. So I'm super happy with how it turned out. I'm happy with how it sounds, happy with how it looks. That's going to wrap up the video. Thanks for watching. Hopefully, if you're looking to do it just like the last one, if you're interested in upgrading your bike, hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions at all, leave them in the comments. If you have any feedback, of course, the same thing. Leave them in the comments below. Looking forward to more content. And of course, thanks to Vic for helping once more. It's always better with a second pair of hands.
Yes.
I will leave, once again, his channel in the description below. So check him out on YouTube. And of course, our collab, Jury of Wolves and Rolling On 2 Clothing.
Yes.
First drop coming out very, very soon.
Stay fresh, man. Yes.
Stay tuned. Enjoy the outro and ride safe.
See you.